My husband posted my body online last Friday. I spent the evening with Kate, a close friend from work who wanted to discuss something personal. We have a deep friendship beyond work, so I didn't think much of it. As soon as I arrived at her place, the tension was palpable. She struggled to broach the topic, eventually revealing she had found disturbing recordings on a pornographic site that she believed featured me. Initially, I dismissed it, insisting it couldn't be true. But as I watched those videos, filmed in our old bedroom, I couldn't deny it any longer. The shock paralyzed me. How could this happen? The realization slowly sank in that my husband might be behind this betrayal, but I pushed that thought away, desperately searching for another explanation. Leaving Kate's, my mind was a whirlwind. She promised to help get the videos taken down and began scouring the internet for more. At home, I found the evidence, hidden spy cameras my husband used to invade my privacy, capturing my most intimate moments. The discovery shattered me. Hours passed in a blur of tears, vomit, and prayers, begging for this nightmare to end. A devout Muslim, veiled and faithful only to my husband, I now faced the torment of knowing these private moments were exposed to the world. Unable to face him, I isolated myself in our bedroom, feigning illness. My appetite vanished, consumed by the trauma of betrayal. Meanwhile, he, oblivious or indifferent to my suffering, talked of ordering my favorite foods. The pain is unbearable. I can't fathom how to confront him or seek help. Shame, anger, and sorrow grip me, leaving me paralyzed. How can I confide in my family, admit my humiliation, and ask for their support? The thought alone cripples me further. I followed through on my decision to leave him. While he was at work, the movers arrived, and I packed my belongings amidst uncontrollable tears. Even the movers expressed concern for me, witnessing my anguish. Returning home, I gathered my parents and siblings, attempting to explain the incomprehensible situation. My elderly parents struggled to grasp the complexities of the internet, naively suggesting it could be easily resolved. In contrast, my siblings understood the gravity of the betrayal, their anger and sadness mirroring my own heartbreak. My brothers and brothers-in-law accompanied me when we confronted him later that day. Initially denying everything, he crumbled under their firm questioning, admitting to his actions fueled by depression, a porn addiction, and a sex addiction. He claimed he never intended for anyone to see the videos, but he confessed to posting between 5 to 8 of them online. We demanded he take them down, but the damage was already done. Who knows how many times they had been downloaded or shared. To my shock, I also discovered he had a secret phone and had been cheating on me with random women and sex workers, while I believed he was working hard to support our marriage. Amidst the confrontation, he managed to call his mother, who arrived with his brother and cousins, inciting further chaos. His mother, in fragile health, fainted upon learning the truth. An ambulance was called, and amidst the commotion, the police arrived and I was arrested, accused of assaulting him in the heat of the moment by slapping him. He declined to press charges, and I was released the next morning, returning to my tearful parents' embrace. Days later, with the help of lawyers my sister had contacted, who specialize in handling non-consensual material online, I pressed charges against him and initiated divorce proceedings. I underwent medical testing, thankfully confirming I hadn't contracted any diseases from his infidelities, though I continued to monitor my health closely. His mother reached out to apologize, though she bore no responsibility for his actions. She pleaded for justice through legal channels, urging me to refrain from personal retaliation. Despite his attempts to manipulate me through incessant calls and texts from different numbers, I've meticulously documented every interaction. The shame I initially felt has intensified as the scandal has become public knowledge, affecting even innocent children who are aware of the situation. This man has obliterated everything I've built and shattered the tiny bit of stability and security had left. I had to resign from a job by a door, a job that was hard-won given societal biases against my appearance. The workplace became a minefield of harassment from perverse men, making it unsafe for me and the vulnerable children and mothers I worked with. Mothers began refusing my involvement with their children, fearing their husbands' inappropriate advances. Men catcalled me more frequently, leered, made indecent propositions, and one even assaulted me in public. My personal and work information, including my address and contact details, were plastered online by my husband. The world's eyes and judgment felt suffocating. While most people were supportive, crazed individuals emboldened by my husband's lies harassed me incessantly. The nightmare worsened when my lawyers uncovered that he drugged and assaulted me while I slept, using my prescribed medication. He bragged about it in online forums, finding camaraderie among fellow deviants. Adding to the horror, he spread rumors that I knew about the cameras and encouraged him to post the videos, a despicable lie some believed. He initially declined to press charges for assault but later changed his mind, leading to a court ordeal where I face unjust accusations. Fortunately, the judge and prosecutors understood the context, his threats, attacks, doxing, and blackmail attempts, and dismissed the case. His own words, documented in texts and recordings, exposed his malicious intent. Despite this victory, the legal battle against his crimes continues. Prosecutors are investigating his egregious acts, including the drugging and assault, to ensure justice prevails. I wish I could say things were getting better, but the truth is, I still feel utterly awful, struggling under the weight of everything that's happened. My soon-to-be ex-husband seems determined to make my life a living hell, obstructing every step I take. He's now on his third lawyer after driving off the previous ones, causing delays and complications in our divorce proceedings. The courts granted him an extension after his last lawyer dropped him days before a crucial hearing. It seems like he's on a destructive streak, both legally and personally. Adding to my grief, my father passed away just over a month ago, and now my mother is in hospice care, nearing the end of her battle with dementia. While I anticipated this outcome, it doesn't lessen the pain of losing them both. Amidst this turmoil, my husband chose the venue of my father's after-funeral meal to confront me. Exhausted from the day's events, I found myself alone as I cleaned up. I lacked the strength to chase him away as I had before, so I let him speak. In an unexpected moment of vulnerability, he cried about the pain he caused, lamenting how he always felt inferior to me in every way, financially, educationally, and socially. Initially attracted to these qualities, he grew resentful as our relationship progressed, especially when I refused to conform to his desires for a traditional homemaker role. He confessed to joining online groups to address his addictions, but twisted their advice into an excuse for his actions. He blamed me for his decision to spy on me, stating it was my fault for not fulfilling his needs. His resentment towards me fueled a cycle of addiction, infidelity, and ultimately, his decision to post intimate recordings of me as a form of revenge. His actions garnered him a disturbing following, feeding his ego and further spiraling him into self-destruction. He even had the audacity to demand recognition for seeking help through addiction support groups and rehabilitation clinics, believing his efforts justified a reconciliation. He accused me of being heartless for not appreciating his supposed sincerity during our conversation, where he bared his soul. Despite his theatrics, I remained unmoved, continuing to pack up and leave the venue without engaging further. Despite some victories in having the recordings removed from several websites and getting him banned, my life remains in disarray. I'm still unemployed, plagued by harassing calls from deranged men, and haunted by feelings of humiliation and embarrassment. Finally, there's some good news to share. After obtaining a restraining order, my ex-husband persisted in stalking and harassing me, leading to multiple police interventions and court appearances. Eventually, his behavior landed him in prison, where he's been for over a month now. I also successfully finalized my divorce. Initially, I aimed for a quick resolution and was willing to concede much, but his continual delays and escalating demands pushed me to my breaking point. I instructed my lawyers to pursue the case vigorously, and they delivered beyond my expectations. Seeing him break down in court was a balm for my soul, a moment of vindication after enduring so much pain. This past month has been the most peaceful in a long while. The stress of the ordeal took a toll on my mental and physical health. He lost weight and hair, but witnessing him face consequences brought a measure of relief. I've since relocated to another city across the country and secured a decent job, slowly rebuilding my confidence. Therapy has been a challenge, but I'm committed to the process, believing it will help in time. The non-consensual material he posted has been removed from reputable websites, and my lawyers secured compensation from these platforms without going to court. While money can't erase the trauma, it acknowledges the harm done, I'm under no illusions. Remnants of the material may linger elsewhere, and I'm learning to make peace with that reality. Meanwhile, my ex-husband awaits trial, facing serious consequences. Reports suggest he attempted suicide and is now in protective custody, a stark realization of the repercussions he's facing. He could potentially serve up to 30 years, including corporal punishment, and I find myself looking forward to justice being served. His actions had devastating effects, but knowing he's being held accountable provides some closure and a sense of justice.